Well, boys, it's that time of the year again. I just got back from playing WWE 2K20, and now you guys want to know what I think about the game. I feel like you guys already know what I'm going to say, honestly. I mean, you guys didn't play the game, but you, saw what I played, and, if you've been following me for a while, you probably know what I was going to say. Regardless, I think there is a few things that we need to discuss about this game, and we're going to do that. So let's talk about WWE 2K20. A big thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring today's video. You shave your balls in your face with the same razor, huh? You shave your balls in your face with the same razor, huh? We're not doing that no more. This right here is the perfect tools for your family jewels. Manscaped calls this the Perfect Package 2.0 kit. And we're not just talking about your undercarriage, we're talking about the whole damn cab. We got foot deodorant, we got body wash. You want some cologne? We got some cologne. You want to put some deodorant on your balls? Yeah, you do. You want to put some deodorant on your balls out in public? Yeah. Manscaped has a nick your sack, send it back, money back guarantee, but I think with the Lawnmower 2.0, you won't have much of an issue with that. You going on a trip or something, man? You want to take this with you, don't you? You want to smell good, you want to look good, you want to be the best man you can be, huh? Well, guess what? This is TSA compliant. You can take this on a carry-on. You can go on a plane, think about shaving your balls, whatever you want to do. Maybe don't shave your balls on the plane, but do it afterwards when you get to the hotel. It's okay, you can do that. It's 2019, fellas. We're changing the game, all right? We're looking good, we're feeling good, we're being good. So let's not beat around the bush here. Use code PULSE20 at checkout to save 20% off and get free shipping on your Perfect Package 2.0 kit, baby. It's time to become the best man you possibly can be. I'm going to kick it off right away, man. I'm going to say this. I cannot recommend to you to buy WWE 2K20. I think objectively that this is not a very good game. And when I say objectively, I'm not talking about the features they decided to do or the direction they started to take the game or whatever, the basic stuff with 2K, which is usually a problem. I'm talking about objectively. I'm talking about the game in itself. Between the graphics and the physics and the hit detection, it's just fundamentally broken. WWE 2K20 in all regards is worse than 2K19. And that kind of sucks because 2K19, I believe, was probably the very first game from the 2K series, after it launched and I played it, where I was like, you know what, man? Okay. And I was sort of excited for 2K20 before I learned about the Ukes leaving thing because, I thought, this was the year maybe they introduced GM mode. Things were obviously on a good direction. 2K19 was it obviously was missing a lot of stuff and was still pretty hollow, and it was here nor there in a lot of places, but it was, not awful. I wish that I could say that WWE 2K20 is WWE 2K19.5 because I almost would have preferred that to what we got here. I can't really call it 2K19.5 because it's not, because on all levels it is worse than 2K19 was. I mean, it's basically, I guess you could say it's 2K19 if you downgrade the graphics, make the hit detection worse, hair physics are awful, no collision detection in entrances. I mean, there's just a lot of underlying issues, you've seen it. You've seen Asuka's hair coming off in the picture on Twitter. You've seen Bianca Belair's hair physics. You've seen Charlotte's hair refusing to go backwards. You've seen Eddie Guerrero walk through the wall in the Halloween Havoc arena. You've seen all this stuff. You saw it. You might not have played it, but you saw it. And this obviously is because Ukes left. Let's not beat around the bush here. 2K was not prepared for Ukes to leave, and this left them with a shit table full of garbage. And they just had to siphon through all of it and hope to God they found something that worked, because that's all they could do. This game already struggled on a year-to-year basis with Ukes. Now you take Ukes out of the equation, what do you got now? Now you just got, you're definitely not going to get anywhere. There's no way with Ukes out of the equation now that they could have turned this around and made a better game because Ukes left. They literally had to rewrite all the code for this game from square one. I'm not even kidding. They didn't have Ukes. They couldn't call Ukes up and be like, hey, Ukes, why don't you help us here? That's not there no more. The phone's gone. The phones are taken out, unplugged from the wall. It's gone. It's not happening no more. So 2K had to essentially rewrite all the code for everything. Entrances, hair physics, gameplay, menus. They had to basically rewrite everything in-house in a year on a series that has already just been a pain in the ass for every single year. They now have to say half of the workforce is gone, and now they have to just go, well, we're doing it now. But like I said, fundamentally, objectively, this is not a great video game. Now, not for nothing, there are some genuinely good things about this game. Like, there are some genuinely really good things about this game. The new custom weapons that they came out with are a lot of fun to mess around with. Yes, they're basic reskins or whatever, but I feel like it just adds something to the gameplay. You know, being able to mess around with the weapon wheel and putting different weapons and assigning characters different weapons before the matches and things like that. There's a lot of fun to that, to be completely honest. I mean, I played around with like Johnny and Chris, and we were playing around with the weapons. You can see the one match on my channel where we use like lollipops and stuff. And yes, they are reskins, and yes, they act just like the weapon that they reskinned. But it adds something. I don't know. There's just something really, really cool about that. It's like when you play League of Legends or Overwatch or Fortnite. You know, yes, it's still the same game, but like, there's something cool about these skins. Like, I spent so much money on League of Legends skins that changed absolutely nothing other than just like I saw something different on the screen, and like that is something. It has something to do mentally when you use skins and things like that change the experience. And like, I think 2K did pretty well with that. There's a lot of different stuff to use. There's a lot of cool things like the kendo sticks, so like the lollipop, and like changing that was the bat or whatever. There's a bunch of cool stuff when it comes to that. And there's a bunch of cool weapons that they added, like the book where you open it and souls come out and it shoots at them. That's really, really cool. The tombstone being able to, you know, break it over people's heads. And I assume with the DLC that's coming out, like the original stuff, they're going to add more skins every time. And then more, I'm hoping they add more interactable weapons like the book and the tombstone and things like that every single time. Because I think those are really, really cool. Like that was like one of the really big pluses for me was the weapon wheel changes and the weapon changes and being able to mess with all that. And like it just leaves you a lot of room to mess around. Now, I'm strictly talking about the My Career story in itself. I'm not talking about the My Career graphics that kind of look like they came off the GameCube. And like, that's even at that point, I feel like I'm slandering the GameCube by saying that. You know, I'm not talking about the physics or the way that the people interact with each other or anything like that. I'm strictly talking about the story that they're telling with My Career. It's charming. There's a sense of humor. Yes, it's like very, very cheesy, but like if you've ever played NBA 2K or if you know 2K at all, these are the kind of stories they like to tell. And that's okay, especially for a wrestling game. You know, I think that works pretty well. Yes, it can be a little long-winded sometimes. There's a lot of cutscenes. There's a lot of stuff happening in that sense. But there's definitely like a charm to it that I think you will enjoy, especially when they went a little bit out of their way to make the scenes kind of cool. So like if you do a side mission in My Career and you know you like at one point you face off against AJ Styles and like the commentary changes, like the Byron Saxton and all the commentary changes to where it actually like acknowledges that you accepted the side mission and things like that. You'll see in my career video, if you check out my channel, at one point there was the match where you face off against the Bully, and like the commentary is acknowledging that this is like a flashback, and there's just something really charming about that, you know. Like I don't think if they would have done that before that, you know, we would have gotten that same commentary or anything like that. So like that was like a really, really charming thing to me. I still don't know what I think about the skill tree in this game. I already didn't like the one that was in 2K19 just because I felt like it was a little convoluted, but this one is a little even more convoluted. It's kind of like Dead by Daylight if you like made it less accessible, or maybe like a Path of Exile if you made it less accessible. Right now it's just like this, it's really slow, like you move your thing really slow and you press here and then you press here and then you click all the ones around it, then you can press here and here. It's just like, it's overwhelming. I don't necessarily think it's bad, it's just kind of overwhelming, especially when you first sit down and you open it up, you're like, what is this? Now, when it comes down to the graphics of My Career, the interactions, like I said, the collision, the way like physics of the backpack, it's not very good. I mean, you saw it, you looked at it, it's not very good. But that kind of goes in line with the rest of the game. It's not like My Career was anything out of the rest of the game or anything. Like the physics and graphics and all that, they're just not that great, period. And speaking of the graphics, I mean, you guys saw it. You looked at the gameplay, you know what I'm talking about. Like you saw my post on Twitter, probably. If you didn't, you can check out my Twitter. You know, you saw this stuff. Like I could probably list like half the roster and they all look really, really bad. They don't look good at all. Like Macho Man, The Rock, Io Shirai, Trent Seven, Ricky Steamboat. I could literally go on forever about this roster. Edge still looks horrible. Like there are just so many, like Chad Gable's beard. It's just like, dude, it's obviously like a fundamental change that they did here, and they were on a crunch, and like I get it, but that doesn't change the fact that they look like dog shit. Like the mouths move weird, the expressions are weird, everyone's lifeless. There's just like this like you look at them and you kind of like you're like, man, something ain't right here, dude. Like there's something wrong here. And there's no way that anyone at 2K looked at this and they're like, yeah, man, like this is it. Like this looks good. I think they looked at it and they said, fuck, man, we still got 600 things to do. We gotta go. Don't worry about Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Because like I said before, you know, 2K could call up Ukes and they'd be like, hey, Ukes, man, like this shit sucks. And they're like, yeah, bet, dude. I'm gonna get that fixed up for you real quick and we'll send it back. Obviously, it wasn't that simple. Like they had to go through a translator and Google Docs and like they had to go through 400 different things to get something fixed. But the option was still there to call up Ukes, man, fuck, this sucks. And they're like, I know, like we gotta fix this. We're gonna get this fixed. But now they don't call anybody. They call themselves. They're like, man, this sucks. Like, well, we gotta get a fucking game out. So like, whatever, man, just put the rock in the game. When it comes to 2K Showcase, 2K Showcase is 2K Showcase. Yes, hardcore fans, the people watching this video, the people that are commenting on this video, yes, this mode probably was not made for you. I know it was not made for me. I still play it because it's part of the game and it's part of the $60 I spent money on. It's not made for us. It is made for the people that are buying this game as casual fans that maybe watch wrestling back in the day. They wanted something to play. They saw it on sale. I don't know, whatever the case may be. They picked it up. They played it. They called it a day. 2K Showcase. That is what that is for, and that's fine because not everything in the game has to be made for you. Speaking of that, we go to the original stuff they came out with. So we had the bump in the night gameplay and things like that, and 2K is like super, super proud of this. Like they're very, very proud of the original stuff, and they should be because I think they've done a lot of cool stuff with this. I think that they have really set their foot forward on this original stuff. And I think they have a lot of wiggle room to mess around with some really, really fun stuff. Now, there's obviously some things right away with the originals that I noticed. Like, first off, the text-based stuff in the showcase, which I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed with right away. You know, when it comes to Fire Pro and things like that, they do text-based storytelling, but we're used to it and we expect that. When it comes to 2K, we don't exactly expect that. We expect voice acted stuff and like things like that, just because that's where the series has gone. You know, over the years, that's where the series went to. It left behind the text-based stuff in the SmackDown games, and as we got to SmackDown versus Raw, we started having voice acted storylines and things like that, and that's just what people expect. So I think a lot of people right away are either going to really, really hate the text-based stuff, or they're going to be really shocked for a minute when they realize that there's no one saying anything. It's just crickets in the background. There was also some horrible frame rate issues on a lot of this original stuff. So a lot of the bump in the night stuff is going to be played on the Wyatt Swamp map. Like I think I'm pretty sure every piece of the 2K Showcase with the Finn Balor stuff where he becomes the Demon King is at the Wyatt Swamp. I'm sure they changed it up. I don't know. I only played a little bit into it. I'm sure they might change it up. But if they don't, like there were some major frame rate issues. I don't know if they're going to fix that on the day one patch. I assume some things get fixed on the day one patch, you know. But wow, it was really, really hard to play, to be completely honest with you. It was only the Wyatt Swamp map. I played on Hell's Coliseum. Everything was fine. I played on every other creative map they had, the baseball arena, like all that kind of stuff. All the other arenas were fine, but there was something about this Wyatt Swamp, especially in this 2K Showcase, that like it just wouldn't. And like I said, it could be fixed when the game comes out. I'm just telling you, you know, what I experienced. There was like some definite frame rate issues. You can watch my bump of the night gameplay. Look at Eric Rowan and Harper versus Finn Balor from my bump of the night gameplay video, and you'll notice right away that there's no way that this game is running at 60, and it doesn't even feel like it's running at 30. It felt like it was running like 24 frames, and that match pissed me off. Oh my God. So like the match is already difficult because it's a handicap match, and then like you throw it on top of it and like, oh, by the way, it's running at 24 frames. It just made it like super unplayable. I just like didn't even restart. I said, okay, that's it. I lost. I'm done. Call it a day for that recording. I wasn't even going to mess around with it. I'm like, dog, that's it. I can't do it. I can't do this. And I'm a big frame rate guy. Like I need my stuff to be running at 60, or if the game is going to run at 30, then I need it to run at 30, and I need it to run at it every single time. I cannot let that stuff, it cannot stifle at all because I notice right away and I go, messing with my frame rates, huh? One of the big things that 2K decided to do this year was change up the control scheme. I have literally in my entire life playing these games, at least the 2K games. I won't talk about SmackDown versus Raw. SmackDown versus Raw changes controls like every single year. So I'm just talking about the 2K stuff, but I've only actually heard one singular person. I don't remember who it was. I just remember he was from Screw Attack, that website, that said that the game is too hard and the controls are too difficult. The only person I've ever heard say that the controls are difficult on 2K. So they decided to change it. So it took me forever. Like I remember there was, I think in one of the videos you can see it. I think it might have been the Finn Balor bump in the night thing where it was like, okay, dude, can you do a limb target? I'm like, yeah, I would love to do a limb target, but to be honest with you, I got no fucking clue how to do limb targeting now. Another thing 2K introduced this year was the mixed tag matches. But that's such like a, I almost didn't even want to talk about it because it's almost like a complete non-feature. It's just like, it's just the same shit. Like, it's just like they are on a tag team. You can't interact with each other. You can't do anything with each other. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe it gives you something to do for universe mode, opens up a little bit of freedom for universe mode to bring teams together like that. It's not like I'm hating on this feature. I don't mind that it's in the game, but it's like, it's almost like something that you wouldn't even announce, you know? It's just something that's kind of like, oh, by the way, this is in the game and you can do this if you want to do this sort of thing. There's just not a lot to talk about with that. You know, man and female can tag team. They don't interact with each other whatsoever, and they don't interact with the other sex, you know, when they're fighting. So like, whatever. Now, when it comes to the moves that were added to this game, this is actually something I wanted to mention. When it comes to the moves that were added to the game, you'll notice right away, if you look at my two moves videos from 2K19 and 2K20, that like this game had infinitely less animations than last time. And I think that's going to be something you're going to notice moving forward a lot, because there was, when it came to these moves in this game, one of the biggest things was Ukes. Like Ukes was a lot of the connects for a lot of these moves. Like Brian Williams with Ukes was like the fucking guy. Like he literally did all this stuff. Like any of the pro wrest moves you saw, any of the, like the crazy stuff you saw that like, you know, that a lot of your favorite wrestlers outside the WWE do, like he was the guy. Like Brian is the coolest fucking dude on the planet. He's so knowledgeable about wrestling. And like, that's going to be one of the biggest like detractors to 2K and this series moving forward, is like without Brian, like a lot of these moves are not going to be in the game. Like we got what, the Kamigoye and the Trent Seven's lariat or whatever. It's just like, you'll notice right away the differences between, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to be seeing anything crazy. Like you're not going to be seeing no Brazilian kicks in the game or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like we're going to be missing out on a lot of stuff. And I think that's something that you guys need to know right away, is like a big reason to why a lot of those moves made it into this series was because of Brian Williams and him just being just the man. And he's not there anymore. He's with Ukes. So he's going to be making this other Ukes game. So you can probably expect a lot of moves to that. When it comes to the 2K towers and stuff, once again, 2K, I don't think got the message on that, which sucks, because that's just, you know, when I was looking at the towers, like there's no new rewards. It's still coins. You know, you just get your VC, brother, and you can buy your Enzo Amore 03 gloves and your pants 007. Like, man, like, did you not get the memo on that? Like, we need more rewards than just coins for these packs that none of us want to buy in the first place. Like that was like the biggest thing, was like, I looked at the towers for like 5 seconds. I'm like, coins. And I looked at the towers and I'm like, oh, we're still doing the, you know, start with yellow arm health towers. I'm like, well, they didn't fucking get it. So I just went ahead and exited out of that. I said, I don't even want to mess with this. Like, whatever. This is never going to be like the Injustice 2 multiverse stuff. Like it's just never going to be like that. So like, whatever, just let them do whatever they want. This isn't like other 2K releases where I'm like, oh, 2K didn't do the right thing here. Like this wasn't the right creative direction. They could have put in this. They could have been in that. Like this is just like a, oh, 2K, like this is fundamentally like flawed at its very core of game. Like this is like at its very foundation, this game is pretty flawed. And the last thing this series needed was this game, to be honest. The last thing this series needed was like another foundation setting period, another 5 years of hoping for them to fix this or do that or whatever. It's just like, can't catch a break. I can't in good faith like recommend this. If you're a wrestling fan and you just buy 2K because it's just a wrestling game and you just like wrestling, then like, you know, sure, I'm sure you can find something fun in it. It's a lot. You have to overlook a lot, man, to be honest with you. You have to overlook the gameplay, the targeting, the physics, the graphic. There's just, it's like, I cannot in good faith tell you that this is a well-made video game. I can't, because it's not. That's all I can fucking say is I can't in good faith recommend this game to you. You just have to make that decision on your own.